Welcome, musicians. So today we're going to take a look at two more notes of the C major scale, and that is the Sol and La, and this together completes the full pentatonic scale in C major. So let's take a look at it. Do, Re, Mi, we already know. This is middle C, so for reference, what octave this is? Do, Re, Mi, Sol, La. So just the two notes between these three black keys. Just like Sol, La, and F sharp major were the two notes between these three white keys. Same thing here with C major. And C major and F sharp major are a tritone apart. So they're exactly halfway between an octave. Alright, anyway, so Do, Re, Mi, Sol, La. And then this is the next octave. Do, Re, Mi, Sol, La. And next octave. Do, Re, Mi, Sol, La. Next octave. Do, Re, Mi, Sol, La. And this is the high C of the grand staff. The one on two ledger lines. It's right there. Alright. So let's take a look at the intervals between these notes. Now we already know the major second, the minor seventh, major second, minor seventh, major third between Do and Mi, minor sixth between Mi and Do. What about between Do and Sol? Perfect fifth between Do and La. That's a major sixth. Now an inversion of a perfect fifth is a perfect fourth. An inversion of a major sixth is a minor third. La, Do, Do, La, La, Do. Let's go from Re to Sol. That's a perfect fourth. Between Sol and Re, an inversion of a perfect fourth is always a perfect fifth. So, between Re and La, that's a perfect fifth. So an inversion of Re, La, Re, La. Inversion of a perfect fifth is a perfect fourth. And then let's go between Mi and Sol. That's a minor third. And an inversion of a minor third is a major sixth. Mi, Sol, Sol, Mi. And Sol, Mi. That's the major sixth. This would be the minor sixth. That's the minor sixth. This is the major sixth. From minor third, inverted to a major sixth. Mi, Sol, Sol, Mi. And Mi, La. That's the perfect fourth. Mi, La. And inversion of a perfect fourth is a perfect fifth, once again. La, ti, do, re, mi, la, mi, mi, la. Okay, so those are basically the intervals. Excuse the neighbors always drilling for gold upstairs. So let's continue. You're gonna see an exercise in front of you right now. And the idea of these exercises isn't to necessarily learn to identify notes. The idea is to learn to identify patterns. And the idea is to learn how to hear notes first by ear and then play them. Instead of first playing them and then figure out how they sound, we're training the skill to first hear the notes in your head that are written down, which then you would play and then confirm that you played it correctly. So that's the idea behind these exercises. And that's the idea behind sight reading in general. You're not sight reading to look at what the note looks at it on the staff and then press that note and then, oh, that's the sound that's associated with that note. No, that's not the idea. The idea here is that you know this is do, and then you know what it sounds like, do. You know this is re, and then it sounds like re. And then we confirm it, that is true. It's always going to be true. The notes aren't going to change unless, of course, they're out of tune. And the string becomes flat or sharp for some reason because of hot and cold temperatures. But that's the skill that we're trying to learn. We're not trying to necessarily learn to identify every single note and what it looks like on the staff. Of course, that is important to do, but your brain will take care of it naturally anyway, the more exercises that you do. Our goal is to learn how to hear melodies inside your head first, so that later you can just play what you hear instead of play what you're reading in the music, if that makes sense. So take a look at the exercise in front of you, and let's just take a look at the first line. Well, actually, first let me play you the whole exercise, like from the beginning to the end. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Simple exercise. It's all pentatonic, so it's all part of the C pentatonic scale, which includes the notes do, re, mi, sol, and la, and doesn't include the fa and ti, which we haven't taken a look at yet. So let's just take a look at the first line. Mi, re, mi, do, sol, la, sol. So just do those first two measures. Here's the starting pitch. Mi, re, mi, do, sol, la, sol. What about the next two measures? So, you know, between sol and do is a perfect fourth. Sol, do, do, do. So, mi, re, mi, do, sol, la, sol, do. Between do and la is a minor third. Do, la, sol. Between sol and mi is also a minor third. Sol, mi. And then it just goes up the same interval. Mi, sol. And then it goes down the same interval in measure 3. Sol, mi. And the beginning of measure 4 is the same note. Mi goes down a second. Re. And then goes up a second. Mi, re. So those were the first 4 measures. Mi, re, mi, do, sol, la, sol, do, la, sol, mi, mi, re. And beginning of measure 5, we ended on re. And then from re to la is a perfect fifth. So re, mi, fa, sol, la, re, la. You know that measure 5 begins with la, goes up a minor third to do, goes down to the same note, la, goes up a perfect fifth, la, ti, do, re, mi, goes down a second, re, goes up a second, mi, and goes up a minor third from measure 5 to measure 6. But let's do the first 5 measures. Mi, re, mi, do, sol, la, sol, do, la, sol, mi, re, la, do, la, mi, re, mi. Those were the first 5 measures. So let's try to play them, because we already know what they sound like. mi, re, do, re, mi, do. That's measure 1. And then sol, la, sol, measure 2. Do, la, sol, mi, measure 3. Measure 4. Mi, re, mi, re. Now notice in measure 4 the rhythm. So you have 1 and 2 and 3, 4. So there's a little syncopation going on where you have a long note on like a weak beat, you could say. It's on the and of 1, that re. Mi, re, mi, re. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. That's the rhythm. So mi, re, do, re, mi, do, sol, la, sol, do, la, sol, mi, re, mi, re, la, do, la, mi, re, mi. And then that's the first line. So let's play it again. 1 and 2, 3, 4. Mi, re, do, re, mi, do, sol, la, sol, do, la, sol, mi, mi, re, mi, re, la, do, la, mi, re, mi. So that's it. That's the first line. So pretty straightforward. Let's take a look at the second line. Beginning in measure 6, you have sol, mi, re, do, la, sol, mi, do. That's measure 6. So it begins with sol, and then it has mi, re, do, and then it has la, sol, and then mi, do. So if you can kind of group those things into those 4 chunks, it might be a little easier to see it that way. Sol, mi, re, do, la, sol, mi, do. Sol, mi, re, do, la, sol, mi, do. And if we go in reverse, do, mi, sol, la, do, re, mi, sol. So measure 6, once again. Sol, mi, re, do, la, sol, mi, do. So let's find it on the keyboard now, since we already know. Let's see if you could do it. I'm going to give you some time to see if you can find. We're starting with sol. If this is the middle C, we're going to this sol. Sol, mi, re, do, la, sol, mi, do. See if you can find it. Okay, so it's sol, mi, re, do, la, sol, mi, do. That's measure 6. Okay, measure 7. We switch to the left hand because that's where the notes are now, on the bottom stuff. So la, sol, la, re. It's a perfect 4th down. Sol, re. And then a second. Mi, re. La, sol, re, mi, re. That's measure 7. La, sol, re, mi, re. And measure 8 is very simple. It's just a minor third from do to la. Do, la. So let's do measure 6, 7, and 8. Sol, mi, re, do, la, sol, mi, do, la, sol, re, mi, re, do, la. Let's try it again. A little bit slower maybe. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and sol, mi, re, do, la, sol, mi, do, la, sol. And the last two measures of the line is mi, re, do, sol, la, sol. Where have we heard that before? It's measures 1 and 2, right? But now taken a bit lower. So this is middle C, this is where we're starting. Mi, re, do, sol, la, sol. The last two measures. So get some practice with them. 2, 3, 4. Mi, re, do, sol, la, sol. And that's it. Now let's take a look at the third line, beginning measure 11. So, measure 11. It's do, re, mi, la, sol, mi. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and more syncopation. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and do, re, mi, la, sol, mi. And measure 12. It's mi, re, mi, re, mi, re, mi, re. So let's try measures 11 and 12. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and do, re, mi, la, sol, mi, re, mi, re. And then between re and la, re, la, so that's a perfect fifth. Between re and sol, it would be a perfect fourth. Re, sol, re, fa, re, mi, re, so re, mi, fa, sol, la. Perfect fifth, right? So measure 11. Do, re, mi, la, sol, mi, re, la. Beginning of measure 13, la. And then there's a leap up and down of a minor third. La, do, la. And then a leap of a perfect fourth from la to mi. La, mi. And then down a major second. Mi, re, mi. So that's measure 13. La, do, la, mi, re, mi. So once again, measure 13. La, do, la, mi, re, mi. 1, 2, 3, 4. Measure 13. La, do, la, mi, re, mi. So this is the middle C. We're starting from this note. La, do, la, mi, re, mi. So measure 14 is another one where you could see the pentatonic pattern. So do, mi, that's the major third. And then you have sol, la, which is the two new notes that we're introducing today. And then we have do, re. And then once again, sol, la. So altogether, measure 14 is do, mi, sol, la, do, re, sol, la. Do, mi, sol, la, do, re, sol, la. And then measure 15 is very simple. Mi, re. And let's try the third line altogether. Begin with do. 1, 2, 3, 4. do, re, mi, la, sol, mi, re, mi, re, la, do, la, mi, re, mi, do, mi, sol, la, do, re, sol, la, mi, re. That was difficult to hit. Me. Okay, so that's all it is. That's the third line. And the fourth line. So we have, once again, another pattern going up, but this time we start on mi. And we're playing the entire pentatonic scale without any leaps or gaps or deviations from the pentatonic scale. So it's mi, sol, la, do, re, mi, sol, la. That's all it is. That's measure 18. Mi, sol, la, do, re, mi, sol, la. Mi, sol, la, do, re, mi, sol, la. And measure 19 and 20 you might recognize as measures 1 and 2. Mi, re, do, re, mi, do, sol, la, sol. And measures 21 and 22, very simple. Do, re, mi, re, do. And that's all how it ends. Do, re, mi, re, do. Be careful of the rhythm. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and do, re, mi, re, do. Okay, that's all it is. So let's try this whole piece from the beginning. And let's just do the solfa. Let's just sing it without playing anything. 2, and 3, and 4, and mi, re, mi, do, sol, la, sol, do, la, sol, mi, re, mi, re, la, do, la, mi, re, mi, sol, mi, re, do, la, sol, mi, do, la, sol, re, mi, re, do, la, mi, re, do, re, mi, do, sol, la, sol, do, re, mi, la, sol, mi, re, mi, re, la, do, la, mi, re, mi, do, mi, sol, la, do, re, sol, la, mi, re, mi, sol, la, do, re, mi, sol, la, mi, re, do, re, mi, do, sol, la, sol, do, re, mi, re, do. And that's it. So once you learn how to sing it, and you learn what the solfa is, it becomes really easy to play it. So let's try it. Now let's just play the piece. And 3, and 4, and mi, re, do, re, mi, do, sol, the whole piece. So hopefully you learn to recognize the sol la in the key of C major, which is literally this. And that was the point of today. If you know, that is sol la, which is literally one note away from the do re mi. This is do re mi, and this is sol la. And if you take a look at this is your visual representation. So it looks a lot like the black keys on the piano, which is why we did F sharp major first, because F sharp major is an excellent representation of the pentatonic scale, where you have do, re, mi, and then you have sol, la. So those are the equivalent of these. So yeah, that's C major. Sol la. That was the only point of this exercise. I'm not trying to make you learn every note of that exercise. That's not the point. The point is to be able to recognize these. And next time we will add the last two notes of the C major scale, which are the Fa and the Ti. And just like I said, they're the same notes are shared between F sharp major and C major, but they're named differently. So if this is T in F sharp major, it's actually Fa in C major. So if T resolves to Do and Fa resolves to Mi, the names are different in C major. So this is Fa in C major, and this is T in C major. And they resolve the same way, just like this. Okay, and I'll see you tomorrow when we will talk about Fa and Ti.